award nominees, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to welcome you to the Public Service Excellence Awards. Wasting much of your time, I would like to welcome Mr. Kelvin Esiesa to give us his opening remarks, and then right after that we shall invite our...
These are the second annual Public Service Awards. Now, let me just try to share with you some of the objectives for these awards. The first objective for these awards is that we want to continuously reward the public servants or the civil servants that are doing extremely well, to ensure that they try to change the image of public service, and to ensure that at the end of the day, after their responsibilities, they are making sure that efficient and professionalism continues to exist in the public service. The other objective is to collect and disseminate success practices and experiences in public administration in order to support efforts for improvement of the public service delivery. So what we are trying to do is to ensure that through these awards, we continue to identify men and women that are very bold enough to ensure that they continuously improve the public service delivery. The other one is to counterbalance any negative image of public administration, raise the image and prestige of public servants, and revitalize public administration as a noble discipline on which development greatly depends. May I just explain something here? If you check around, one of the professions that we keep on not seeing much for young people to continuously study public. So our role is to continuously to see how best can we counterbalance, meaning we need to ensure that we keep on promoting the positive aspect of public administration, the positive aspect of ensuring that individuals that are working in public institutions are well appreciated. We know to be a civil servant sometimes is a thankless job, but we want to try as much as possible to ensure that people that are working for public institutions are well appreciated. Those negative images that we see sometimes are always superseded or are always overshadowed by positive aspect. The other objective is to promote, encourage, and to facilitate networking among public institutions and organizations relevant to public administration, and strengthen the network of public administration and development. What we have been doing as an organization to try and to strengthen this year we introduced what we call the CEO Business Media Breakfast Networking, and we are proud to say that we have been successful in this discipline. Since we introduced a program in August, we have continuously to ensure that every month we have a CEO business media networking discussion, and main CEOs have been coming through, the media have been coming through, and after that event we see to it that at least every media house is able to hear that presentation. The other objective is to enhance professionalism in public service, rewarding the successful experiences and innovation and experience in public service. So we want to continue to ensure that we enhance professionalism in public institutions. And this is one of our main goals, to see to it that at least at the end of the day, the complaints that keep on rising from public institutions are reducing. We want to see to it. Now, may I also give you a little bit background of what we are doing as an organization to ensure that we keep on raising this flag for the Zambian Society for Public Administration. Since we were introduced, what we have been trying to do is to come up with innovative ways to ensure that this organization continuously to attract attention of everyone. So this year in June 2015, we had an international conference in Livingstone where we had 200 delegates, where we had 10 countries being represented. The countries were Nigeria, South Africa, Namibia, Ghana, Mali, the USA, Kenya, and Uganda. All these countries, and Namibia, all these countries came and they gathered together in Livingstone just to see how best we can discuss and to continuously advance the issues of public administration. The other innovative way that we've tried to do is that the one that I've already introduced is the CEO business listing organization. You are likely to be absolute if if you don't know what is happening there. So we are trying as much as possible to get connected. So I'm one of the members of Zspa. Zspa is an organization that we teamed up early this year to organize that international conference. At the end of the conference, because they were pleased with what we did, they had to elect him as their vice president for Africa. So that was a great achievement for this organization, so that we keep on moving forward. And we have done as much as possible. The other, the other networking platform that we've created as an organization is to ensure that we take a leading role in trying to establish societies like this one in other countries. So we have done, through our initiative, we had to invite everyone that participated in our conference to form up an association we are calling the African Society for Public Administration. And that association has been supported by 10 countries. I personally am heading that, the secretariat, and our president is from Namibia. All these initiatives, we are trying as much as possible to ensure that we remain relevant to everything that we are doing. So as an organization, these are some of the initiatives. So even this year, as much as we know that this country, as a nation, we're passing through a lot of economic challenges, I'll say it that way. But as much as possible, we ensure that this platform is created and all of us come through. So we are happy as an organization that at least organization responded positively, and I believe all of us are going to enjoy this dinner that we are there.
To give the keynote address at the second Zambian Society for Public Administration Service Excellence Award. Personally, I have seen the growth of this society from the time it was launched, the organization last year in June 2014. As the organization patron, I am pleased with the way the organization has applied itself and how the Zambian community has accepted the organization. I'm sure the president doesn't like somebody recommending him for an award, but if you consider from how far we've moved to where we are now, surely he should be among the recipients of an award. I think next year I will make sure that we do. Why do I say that? I mean, you just heard how well he has articulated the progress that has been achieved, the recognition that has been received at both individual and also as a society. In fact, I think this is the only organization that has something nice to say about civil servants. So being the secretary to cabinet, I cannot but be very pleased and try to say that next year certainly we must consider honoring him. If not from this platform, I will honor him from another platform where I'm president of the Association of Africa Public Administration and Management, just in case the members of the executive reject my suggestion. Guest of honor, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Chagwarungu, during his address when opening the 11th National Assembly, announced the need to transform ourselves into a smart Zambia by 2063 it was. Yes, if it's so 2035, I'm now mixing my numbers. And also you may note that the organization AU also came up with the Agenda 2063. And both these particular speeches have several things in common. And it is interesting to note that at the center of both these agendas is the need to have a merit-based, professional, impartial public service. Now, obviously, many of us, considering our history as a country, will always say that is an impossibility. But when you examine those in Southeast Asia, and here I'm thinking about countries such as Singapore, which at independence was below us in GDP terms, South Korea, which was below us in GDP per capita terms at independence, you will observe, and that's why this organization is important, you will observe that at the center of that transformation or development is an effective, efficient, professional, merit-based public administration. In fact, Johnson Chalmers, who studied the development of Japan, is the one who coined the term the developmental state, argues very effectively that at the end of the day, whether you like it or not, an effective, efficient, merit-based professional public service is the engine for economic development. I'm not saying this because I'm head of public service, but I'm sure you will understand. Let me just pick one indice. For example, when you speak about competitiveness, if you look at the indices that relate to competitiveness, you'll see that it is about contracts, it's about permits, it's about all those things that the public service does. So ultimately, if you are talking about a national, and I'll not study in their order of importance, I'll start with panthos, which is the same word that we translate as passion. Those people that when you get into their environment, even if you are depressed, you feel yourself lifted up. Ethos, from which we get the word ethics, a certain level of integrity, which is a key requirement to move the agenda forward. Logos, from which we get the word logic, the need to have a comparing vision that attracts everybody into a vortex that pushes everybody in one common direction. And then there's also the issue of idealized influence. A transformational leader serves as a role model for those that are following. In fact, I have said to myself, you can never be a good leader if you have never been a follower. Let me emphasize that point. You can never be a good leader if you've never. We need to create and foster supportive relationships. And in order to do this, and I think our president articulated this very well, we need to keep our lines of communication open. But more importantly, to maintain an attitude of learning and networking. Then there is the third point. The third point is this: we need to create for ourselves, those of us in leadership, to facilitate inspiration, to inspire others. Leaders should be able to help followers experience the same passion and motivation to fulfill their goals. It's interesting here, and I may want, if may digress a little bit. Aristotle, in speaking about what individuals have been able in history to make transformation work, he said he identified that they had three things. And I'll not study in their order of importance. I'll start with panthos, which is the same word that we translate as passion. Those people that when you get into their environment, even if you are depressed, you feel yourself lifted up. Ethos, from which we get the word ethics, a certain level of integrity, which is a key requirement to move the agenda forward. Logos, from which we get the word logic, the need to have a comparing vision that attracts everybody into a vortex that pushes everybody in one common direction. And then there's also the issue of idealized influence. A transformational leader serves as a role model for those that are following. In fact, I have said to myself, you can never be a good leader if you have never been a follower. Let me emphasize that point. You can never be a good leader if you've never been a follower. And every time you think about followership, there is an element of humility and servanthood that is required. Guests of honor, ladies and gentlemen, as an association, we will continue to be champions of change. We need to emulate, as I indicated earlier on, countries like Singapore, Malaysia, China, and Rwanda just at our doorsteps. You know what is also interesting if you study many of these countries, including Japan? What you will observe is the following, that none of these countries developed without one generation denying itself certain things. There is need for one generation at least to sacrifice if the other generations can benefit. We will endeavor to ensure that we do to our level best to aspire for the best level of service. I am fully aware that many of the nominees in this year's awards are directors and chief executive officers. This is very good because it means we are beginning to grow, and these are the people that hold the system together. These are the people that steer the ship in the right direction. So it means that we are beginning to get to the best that we can. To the winners for this year, I would like to congratulate you. And with that, I would like to take this opportunity to call upon the guest of honor. As I say, God bless the great Republic of Zambia, and let us all work together to develop this country. I thank you, Mr. Guest of Honor.
To officiate at this Zambia Society for Public Administration, ZSPA, Public Service Excellency Annual Award. More so, ladies and gentlemen, because in June 2015, this year, at the International Conference in Livingstone, ZSPA honored me with a recognition award for being the first Zambian woman to be appointed as the Public and Vice President in Zambia. You obviously know that it's not for me, it's for our honor, the Vice President. So I have very big shoes that I'm standing in, and I have to read it word for word. I'm proud of this achievement, ladies and gentlemen, and the recognition by ZSPA. All I can say is that may God continue to bless you and continue to be successful in your future endeavors. The award I'm officiating today are the second annual awards being organized by the ZSPA. Last year, the awards were officiated by Dr. Rowan Musiska, the Secretary to the Cabinet, who is also the organization's patron. And it is doing very well, patron. Kindly keep it up so that we can motivate our members. At this function, 8 gallant individuals were awarded in various categories. Further, and of particular mention, is that last year, your organization awarded and honored our late Republican President, Mr. Michael Chirufyasata. May his soul rest in peace. The award was named after him as Michael Chirufyasata Social Advocate Award. Indeed, this award did not come from without, but it is in honor of the late President's contribution to the governance of our country, including the social, economic development, and his passion to uplifting the general living standards of the people of Zambia, especially the poor. As you rightly indicated, it is an award given to persons whose works are of a source of national inspiration. We all know that the late President was such a wonderful man, very courageous. His tenacity and resilience in politics and talking for the poor was second to none. And therefore, this award is befitting. Unfortunately, he is gone. Distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, the SPA awards aim to recognize the efforts made by public administrators in an effort to improve service delivery. We are yet all gathered here today to witness men and women that are trying their level best to change the face of the public service through hard work and outstanding performance in their fields. As we are all aware, working as a public servant is not easy. Some people work in the mainstream government or parastatal or a quasi-government or a statutory body, but they are all public servants. The pressure that public service employees go through in an effort to ensure that the public service machinery performs to expectation is not an easy task. The pressure is enormous, and as such, we should always find time to appreciate those men and women that work and make bold decisions to improve the face of government at all levels. The patron made reference to the fact that very few people say good things about civil servants. And I think it is true to a large extent. But also there are those that speak well about the civil servants. So my appeal is that don't be afraid of pressure. The late Donnie Williams, in one of his songs, said pressure makes diamond. And we all know how precious diamond is. So the more there is pressure, just know that we are trying to mold you into a better civil servant, into a better public worker, into a better performer, until eventually you definitely achieve the higher heights. Distinguished guests, we should find time to celebrate men and women that are improving public service delivery system in our communities. We should cherish the public service employees that are proud of the responsibility that they have been assigned as they inspire the young people to join the public service. This is very important because so many people, so many young men and women don't want to join public service. They shun away, they want to go and work in the mines, work in the banks. So if you perform well and the awards are being given to you, I'm pretty sure that it will inspire the young ones to join the public service. Therefore, today, as women and men are being recognized and are honored, let us all applaud them for their hard work and let us encourage them. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme for this year's Zambia Society for Public Administration Annual Award is Transforming Zambia with a Smart Public Service. This is in line with the address to the National Assembly by His Excellency the President of the Republic of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Kachagwa Lungu, in September 2015. The President stated in his address that it is time for Zambia to transform itself into a smart nation. As you are aware, His Excellency the President listed 15 key points on which Zambia must transform itself into a smart nation. These are the things that all of us in government are working on to ensure that his words become a reality. The President's wish is to see Zambia being transformed into a nation where men and women are committed to the development of this great country, Zambia. As the Patriotic Front government, we would like to see the civil service and all public service administrators, both the scholars and practitioners, to embrace this appeal from His Excellency the President. We all know that Zambia can only be better if we all work hard and devote ourselves to making Zambia a better place in all the spheres of national development. Zambia can be better if we all become smart employees that are dedicated to improve public service delivery for the good of every Zambian. We need to do some introspection and ask ourselves as to whether I am delivering based on what I was employed. You ask yourself whether you are making the work of your next individual easier. You ask yourselves as to what is it that I will have done for my mother Zambia. It is also true that patron that Frederick Wuso Taylor in his book called Management did indicate that a human being does not like work. So a bit of pressure, a bit of push is required in order for certain individuals to move. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to assure you that my government shall always strive to make the Zambian people proud of their country. This means that we should all sacrifice and work extremely hard to deliver to the poor individual who's living in the rural areas and those that are in the urban areas. All of us that are employed by the people of Zambia must be responsible enough to ensure that we are doing the work we were employed for. As we celebrate men and women today, we should all challenge ourselves to work hard. As government, we would like to see that all public administrators are answerable to the people of Zambia, who are our masters. Ladies and gentlemen, transforming Zambia with a smart public service simply means that all of us in the public service must improve our presence. We must show that we deserve to be in the positions which we are holding today. And we must also show that we deserve the awards from the Zambia Society for Public Administration. The word smart for the public service should simply mean the following. 1, S for specific. As public administrators, we should be specific in our service delivery. Though our responsibilities are huge, we need to prioritize our activities, in particular, embark on those that have greater benefits to the people of Zambia. M for management. We need to ensure that public programs, projects, and services being delivered to the masses should be properly managed. We should ensure that people in charge of executing these activities manage the process very well. Therefore, this means that there should be no wastage in public resources. More often than not, we think that for as long as I'm a director or I'm in charge, I have reached my destination, and therefore I don't care what happens when things move out of your territory, heading towards the needy people. In between, things begin falling apart, and eventually the poor person there who's on the receiving end gets nothing. The bulk of the money, the bulk of the resources ends up in the individual pockets, and very few of them get the benefits. Let's manage the resources. Little as it may be, take care of it, knowing very well that there is another generation coming after you who wants to find things are properly managed and are properly planned and they were properly executed. I can assure you we may not have been in the situation we are in today if the leadership previously thought of investing heavily in certain sectors of the economy. It would have been a different ball game together. As a reference to Singapore, Singapore Prime Minister spent a lot of years moving the people of Singapore from the third world country into the first world country. For us here, the leadership spent much of the time politicking, bickering, and eventually we have not moved as we should have moved from 1964. Why? Because we didn't manage our affairs properly and responsibly. A stands for access. All government services must be accessed by everyone in this country, regardless of their social, economic, political, and or religious affiliation. No Zambian should be discriminated in any way as we continue to pronounce our motto of one Zambia, one nation. R, ladies and gentlemen, stands for realistic. Let us all, as public service employees and administrators, be realistic in the performance of our duties. Patron is not unheard of to find a poor man spending 2 days at somebody's office for a simple answer of yes or no. Somebody will have traveled all the way long distances only to be kept here, and after staying for a week, he's told, no, you can't get this. It's very painful. It's not realistic. It should not be acceptable. So as directors, as people who are heading the public service, we need to change our attitudes. Finally, T, to complete the word SMART, stands for trust. We all need to be trustworthy in all that we handle in the discharge of our duties as public service employees. This is an indictment. You need to ask yourself, how trustworthy am I to be the financial controller of a certain organization? Am I able to account for every single way, even when you are... Because His Excellency has set the tone. So we'll move into a situation where everything will be computer-based. There is no reason, ladies and gentlemen, for this country to be poor, because we are a nation with a lot of potential in all the sectors of economy and human endeavors. We have the best human brains in this country. And I can assure you, I have attended various workshops, seminars, and meetings. I have traveled far and wide. And most of the countries I've gone to, they tell me this policy we are seeing of implementing in this country, we copied it from Zambia. We have the best policies, except that we don't implement them the way we would want them to be implemented. Namibia, talk of South Africa, Angola, they got most of our policies, and those are the ones they are using, including Rwanda. What is wrong with us? With all these brains, and people have the education now, masters, name them, degrees, we can do better than we are doing. We can actually be smart and move, go towards Edgar and get everything. You are the drivers, guys. You are the ones that see the country even before us politicians see where the country is going. You will have analyzed it using your technical know-how. But we are shy to advise correctly for fear of losing the job, and so in the process, you plunge the country into problems. Let's be bold enough and say, sir, this direction you are going, you will not achieve what you're supposed to achieve. I want to thank the organizers for the job well, to all awards recipients, and congratulations to Zambia Society for Public Administration for hosting this successful event. And this particular event, the awards will be motivated. My only hope and prayer is that they will put in even more so that they can be a shining example to those who are eyeing to come into a smart Zambia. And we plan, and we must plan long term. Long term. We want, by the time people are waking up in 2063, things should be everything in your own right. So ladies and gentlemen, may the Lord Almighty God bless you, and let's enjoy the evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our guest of honor, the Honorable Deputy. When Dr. Msiska was speaking earlier, I recall a time last year when I was stuck. We were putting together a documentary about Zambia's first cabinet. For that. At this particular time, I'll just ask our band to give us one song as the awards are brought to.
No one, no guy, no woman, no guy. Said I remember when we used to sing. Good friends we had, or good friends we lost. I know the way. In this great future, you know, woman, nobody. I said no one, nobody. No woman, nobody. I say, I'm gonna finish now. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright.
The following person has graciously given us permission to name ZSP awards after them.
Those who rubbed shoulders with him. Prominent lawyer John Mupanga Mwanakatwe will also be remembered for his humility. He was in major towns. When he left the Ministry of Finance, he declined reappointment and was requested by Dr. Kaunda to serve as chairperson of the Salaries Inquiries Commission in the public service. He bounced back and teamed up with Bervin Wilombe, Wila Mungomba, and his wife Linda to establish a law firm called MMW. After the end, envisaged appointing him to a senior position in government, but he declined because he was aging. Mr. Mwanakatwe said in his autobiography that he only accepted the position of the Zambia Privatization Agency to help the MMD execute the massive privatization program it had.
We shall give the award for category J, John Mwanakatwe Distinguished Award.
So this is Mr. Chisha
Mr. Chisha Mwanakatwe receiving the award on behalf of the Mwanakatwe family.
yes.
My father's many achievements through the John Mupanga Mwanakatwe Distinguished Public Service Award. Although he dedicated so much of his life to public service, JMM always found time to mentor aspiring professionals from various disciplines and is still remembered for his insights, calm deliberation, and compassion for all. He personified integrity and respect and was the consummate professional. I know he is smiling down at us and hoping that his legacy will be an inspiration for us to put service before self. Thank you.
The Attorney General's Chambers, and as the Director of Legal Aid in Zambia, She has also previously served as Deputy Chief Justice, Supreme Court, and High Court Judge. As the chairperson of the Electoral Commission of Zambia, she presided over the 2011 presidential and parliamentary elections and the 2015 election to the presidential elections in Liberia. She has also attended various seminars, conferences, and trainings in election management, alternative dispute resolution, gender, and
you have chosen
Chief Administrator, and I'm here with Ms. Cynthia Kabembo, the Personal Secretary. We are receiving this award on behalf of the Honorable Chief Justice. She would have been here in person, and unfortunately she had other prior engagements. She just came back from a court session, and she would like of Dr. Anna Olia Chifungola. We appreciate this award that has been given to her in her name, and she asked me to apologize that she's not here because she's out of the country to finish off her work. As you may already know, as per Constitution mandate, Article 121 of the Constitution, Dr. Anna Chifungola on the 10th of December attains the age of 60 and should be vacating the office of the Auditor General. So, on behalf of Dr. Anna Chifungola, I wish to
didn't expect this award, and I'd like to thank you, those people that nominated me. And I can only pledge that I'm going to do more in the future. But I'd like also to dedicate
So we are moving backwards.
Didn't expect this award, and I'd like to thank you, those people that nominated me. And I can only pledge that I'm going to do more in the future. But I'd like also to dedicate this award to my management at Workers' Compensation Fund Control Board with all the staff of Workers' Compensation. As you know, being a CEO, I don't do anything at all. It's the others that work for the organization. I can only tell that I'm the driver, I'm the captain of the ship. Therefore, I say again that I dedicate this to the members of staff of Workers' Compensation and management. Thank you very much.
Now, in her own words, this is what she had to say about her achievements. Whatever I have, Whatever I have achieved in my life is by the grace of God, and for all that I have achieved,
I am extremely humbled, and I thank for considering me for this award. And I would like to dedicate this award to my late parents, my 3 sons and granddaughter, and to the people of Zambia who I'm privileged to serve. Thank you very much.
so we had 2 winners for that category.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of NTBC, I would like to say thank you very much for this award. In trying to create a smart Zambia, I believe that the government, through the President, His Excellency Edgar Chagwa Lungu, through his speech to Parliament, did indicate that there is need to review and resuscitate the operations of NTBC. We are trying our level best to ensure that we achieve what the President directed us to do. Thank you very much.
Parents. My father, who I've come with today, seated over there, who worked for the Ministry of Defense as a driver for over 25 years, so that he can see the 7 of us go up to tertiary education. And today I stand here very proud and honored, together with my mother, who sold cattle for us to go to school. So I'm really, really honored, and also I'd like to say many thanks to my colleagues, the PMRC, who are here with me, the police monitor.
For this gratifying and yet appropriate gesture. I'm actually short of words that have been considered amongst the people that are being awarded this evening. It's not easy to start up something, and it's not easy to see your own initiative coming into fruition. I am privileged to lead an institution that is quite dynamic, which started 4 years ago. It started with a capital of about 5,000 kwacha. Today, our annual budget is way above 27 million. With over 200 members of staff, among them 6 Indians, 2 Ghanaians, 3 Ugandans, 2 Zimbabweans, the rest are Zambian. I'm gratified, I appreciate. Good evening, thank you.
You received that award.
I would like to be practical stuff.
Who else is coming? He's coming.
And the Secretary to the Cabinet, for the President, Kelvin Esiasa, and also for the Secretary to Cabinet. When I heard the achievements scored under 2 years, I saw enthusiasm, I saw commitment, and I saw determination. We have embraced it in our institution, and I must thank the Zambian Society for Public Administration for recognizing the efforts we are making in transforming the Workers' Compensation Fund Control Board. I will not say a lot of words